Time has just gone 8 minutes past 10. You're with me, John Ozen, for the Saturday mid-morning programme. Pleased to introduce my guests this morning. That's Dave Hogarth and Hendrik Blast, or Bast, I should say. Hendrik Bast. Starsky and Dutch. That's the nicknames that are being given to you. Tell me more about what you've got planned for your adventures.
Well, John, it happened about 12 months ago. Well, it was when a team from Guernsey were going this time last year, and they were in the Guernsey press, and I showed it to Hendrik, and I said, wow, this will be some sort of adventure. So we looked into it, we ummed and ahed. I spoke to my wife because we're going to be away for 6 weeks and managed to get a pass out. So we started planning from there. Obviously, we needed a vehicle. We looked at the rules of the Mongol Rally. It was 1,000 cc's maximum. And then we thought of an idea. We want to do something quite novel. And with Hendrik being Dutch, I came up with the name Starsky and Dutch. So we thought that we wanted a Grand Ford Torino, but obviously they don't come in 1,000 cc's. So we came up with the idea that we needed a novelty vehicle. And Guernsey being Guernsey, with the number of the mini panel vans that are knocking around, we thought we'll take one of those, because we've never seen anybody else do the Mongol Rally in all the YouTube clips and video clips that we've seen of the Mongol Rally. So I think we may be a first. So we went on, and how did we get the van, Hendrik?
We bought a van of the cobbler in town. He wanted to sell his van, we found out, and we bought it of him.
Yeah.
And then after that we sprayed it in the colours of the Ford Gran Torino.
Yeah. So now, because it's sprayed in the red and white like Starsky and Hutch, we call it Bob, because effectively it's a Robert Redford. So Robert Redford short for Bob.
Yes, we like that.
So our little van's nicknamed Bob. Obviously, all this is on our website, which is www.mongolrally.gg, and it tells us a story about what the van looked like before we sprayed it. It had stickers of shoes and things on the side, so we took all those off ourselves. We got it sprayed cheaply, and then we're ready to go and ready to deck it out. We had to do some work on it. Even though it's 14 years old, it's never ever left the island. So this little van, Bob, has never ever been on a motorway. So we've talked to a few people that have taken these little panel vans over to the UK, and the stories aren't really promising when you're bombing along past some quite large lorries on the motorways. But we'll have to see what happens.
You're listening to Dave Hogarth. Hendrik, tell us a bit more about this van then, and the work that you've done to the van to prepare it.
Well, we had to, because it's quite a small van, so we had to raise the floor levels to create some storage, and then we got a mattress in the back so we can sleep in it if we have to, and the rest it's a roof rack, wheels on the roof, jerry cans, and things like that.
Now, you've used the van itself to work with sponsors and generate more money for the charity. Can you tell me how you've done that?
Yeah, effectively what we're trying to achieve is to get everybody's name in Guernsey on the side of the van. At the moment, we've got a few hundred names. It's absolutely free of charge to get your name on the van, which means you come all the way with us to Mongolia. So you can go on the website, just put your name on, absolutely free of charge, with a sponsor that's paying for the stickers to put people's names on. And then we've also got a load of businesses that have actually sponsored us financially. Some have been really, really generous, but we're still looking for more. We've still got one side of the van that could be filled up with stickers from businesses in Guernsey. And that's what we're doing at the moment. We're out and about in the van, showing it off and trying to get people to support us. Because obviously, the money's going to charity, 4 good charities. And that's what we're doing at the moment. And we'll be doing that until we actually leave.
Let's learn more about the journey after this from the beautiful south. That's Rotterdam, beautiful south. You're with me, John Ozen, for the Saturday mid-morning programme. In the studio, Hendrik Bast and Dave Hogarth. We're talking about a trip of a lifetime. Although to some, it might not be a trip of a lifetime. It might be fairly arduous. But you two look like you've got the energy, determination and focus to make this road trip work for you. Tell us about where you're visiting on the road trip.
Okay, so we leave here. Well, Hendrik's taking the van over to the UK on the 13th of July. So that's the first time. He's actually promised that he won't take it on a motorway as he goes to see his daughters in the UK. Then he's picking me up on the morning of the 15th from Southampton, and we're heading down to Goodwood, where Goodwood racetrack, where on the Sunday morning, all the teams, there'll probably be 350, 400 teams, all doing a lap of Goodwood as we set off on our own way and head off onto the continent and through Europe, and then onto the rest of the place that Hendrik will tell you about in a minute.
Yeah.
Now, because Hendrik is Dutch, we're taking a route probably slightly different to the other teams, because we're going to see his folks in Holland before we start heading down through the Central European countries. And the idea is we're going to meet up in Bulgaria for 4 days. That is like our R&R, rest and recuperation, where there's some of our friends from Guernsey are flying out to see us for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So after that, that's when the fun starts. Yeah. And Hendrik, where do we go after that?
We'll be leaving Europe via sort of Romania and Bulgaria, and then Turkey, and from Turkey into Armenia, Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, which we literally just clip the countries.
Yeah.
Then Kazakhstan, Russia, because we have to enter Mongolia via Russia, and then Mongolia, and then we have to leave again. We'll end up in southern Siberia.
To what extent have you already looked at the maps? Have you put them on the tables? Have you gone through routes?
We've got all the maps, yeah. We've got all the maps. I haven't really been looking at them too much, but...
Yeah, we don't know the exact route that we're going to take. I think that will depend on how the van's operating. I mean, when we get into the stands, as we call them, really there's only a few routes that you can take. Iran has proved to be the most difficult. Any British national, American national has to have a guide to take you through Iran. So we didn't realise this until quite late on it, in fact a few weeks ago, what the rules were. Hendrik's fine being Dutch, but being British, going through Iran. So we've had to link up with 7 other teams, and we're effectively sharing a guide, and it's going to take us 8 days to go through Iran. But to get the visas has been a mega difficult part of it. Because obviously you've got one passport and it's got to go around all the different embassies, because we need Mongolian visas, obviously Iran, as I've just said, Uzbekistan,
Russia,
we haven't done Russia yet. Russia will be at the last minute. But there's a great company that has been working with the Mongol Rally for probably the last 10 years, called the Visa Machine. So they advise us which way to do it, but.
And they take over quite a bit of the admin, but it still is just it's quite interesting.
We've spent
process.
hours on the visas, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible in itself.
Yeah.
There's particular ways of movement through these places that you can't visit one before the other, and
That's
you have to
right.
go through.
You get 7 days in certain. You only get 7 days for Uzbekistan, for instance. So you need to plan your trip, and if you do break down, fix it quick, because your visas are going to run out for certain countries.
And then that's a knock on for the next country.
Which does lead us on to that. You know, the competition is with a van that's 1,000cc. That's not much. I mean, you know, you if you had a vehicle like that, you probably suit you're taking stuff down to Long Hoog, but it wouldn't take you. You couldn't tow anything with a vehicle like that, really.
And I mean, that is the whole spirit of the Mongol Rally. It's the most difficult rally in existence in the world, and that's why, you know, they want you to take an old vehicle. That's why they cap it at 1,000cc. Ours is 1.3, and we had to get special dispensation because we've got the novelty value of going as Starsky and Dutch. In a little panel van. So they thought that was great. So they allowed that. But the majority are Nissan Micras and Pandas and things like that, all 1,000cc.
Yeah. They want you to break down, really.
Yeah.
And you get the sense, don't you?
They want you to make it difficult for yourself. And so you could enter in a Land Rover, it would be all quite straightforward, but no, they want you to be stuck on the side of the road and fix it. And
So what happens when there is that breakdown in a country that may not be set up to best suit that?
You're basically on your own. I mean, obviously going through Iran, we're with 7 other teams. So we would help each other out. I mean, there'd be nobody else in a Daihatsu X-Stol panel van. so we can't swap any parts or anything. So we are literally on our own with that.
Yeah, he didn't pick very strategically.
I mean, thankfully, Guernsey Motor Spares here have been absolutely fantastic for us, and we're taking a lot of new parts on the van that they've donated to us. So we should be okay for the general things, but obviously we've got spare wheels, spare tyres, inner tubes, but we don't know what's going to happen. Some cars go all the way through scot-free, no problem. Some don't make it at all. Some have, well, in fact, last year somebody had 13 tyre changes on the way. So we don't know, to be honest.
Out of the two of you, who's the more apt at motor repairs?
Neither of us, really. Yeah, neither of us, really. We both have a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah.
But a little bit of knowledge is about probably where it ends.
Let's just pause for a second. In the studio, Hendrik Bast and Dave Hogarth. We're talking about a 10,000-mile road trip. Tell us about your friendship.
Hendrik and I, how long ago did we meet?
4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
4 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I've been on the island six and a half years. We probably met 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, we've just been mates ever since, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, ideal partner to go with. A lot of people say he isn't. A lot of people say I'm not. But, I mean, 6 weeks, sleeping in a little tin can, we'll soon find out, won't we?
You still very much got the support of all the people that have sort of joined you along the way, emotionally and also in that support. You're going to stay connected, aren't you?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we're members of Guernsey Sporting Club, and in particular, the members there have absolutely been fantastic for us. They've all got together. Like I say, we've got, I said to you earlier, John, just off air, that we've got a big grand raffle that's taking place at the Sporting Club on the 11th of July, and we're selling tickets for that, and they're available online. We'll be out and about in the van almost every day now, work permitting, showing the van off, which obviously helps the sponsors who've got the stickers on the side of the van, and trying to encourage some more sponsors, because obviously more sponsors we get, the more money that we can donate to charity.
And people have been good, haven't they? Particularly when you've asked
that's been
for
really
help.
good. Really surprised. People have been really good. Yeah.
I mean, people in Guernsey are generally generous anyway. You know, anything that I've done in the past, fundraising, everybody's been great. I mean, what we'd love them to be able to do is just put the name on the side of the van for free, and then just come with us all the way. So, you know, their name would appear in all the pictures that are going to be uploaded from the door to hell in Turkmenistan, which is this massive gas crater, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where everybody heads for. But yes, generally everybody's been fantastic.
The rally itself is a fundraiser. What does that support, the rally itself?
It's a charity called Cool Earth. It's a rainforest preservation charity. That is, they've been raising funds for them for the last 12 years, and I think they've raised 25 million so far. And then we have got Age Concern Guernsey, we picked as a charity, and Channel 9 Air Search.
Yeah,
Guide Dogs UK.
And in the UK, because we've got a few sponsors from the UK, we've got the Guide Dogs over there, their charity.
These charities, are any of them very close to you at all?
We've got good friends who are involved with the Channel Islands Air Search, but I mean, that's close to everybody in Guernsey. We tried to mix it up a little bit. Obviously, Age Concern's a very worthy cause. Cool Earth is something that I'm not saying we have to do, but we're encouraged to do, because that is the rally's chosen charity. And then the Guide Dogs, we wanted to pick something slightly different to the ones in Guernsey, so that's what we went for.
Have you tested the van yet for a sleep overnight at all?
It's funny you should say that.
Not yet, but we've been talking about it.
Yeah, we're thinking of doing that before we go.
Having a little outdoor, yes.
Yeah, we're thinking of doing that, weren't we?
Drive all the way to the other side of the island.
You could take it to the extremes of Plymouth.
Yeah,
the weather extremes.
We were thinking that,
We were thinking
the
of
dizzy
doing that,
heights of Torteval.
Yeah. Stop off on the way.
Yeah.
Guernsey's not going to best prepare this van, is it, at all?
Not.
I mean, like you've already mentioned, you're going to take it to the UK. That's probably going to be the first time.
It's going to be the first time. Well, the first time we'll take it out, so we don't really know how it handles and what it's like. We jokingly said, even when we drive through the airport, we said it's a very uncomfortable ride. But I think we knew that all along.
Yeah. The seats are on the way out, to say the least. But I mean, that's the whole spirit of the rally.
Yeah.
They want you to suffer a little bit, so we're not going to change the seats.
Leave it as it is.
We're leaving it as it is.
What about the packing as well? Have you got a room dedicated for packing at the minute?
Well,
Somewhere?
we've got a room at my house where we're putting everything in as we're building up. We got the mattresses donated by Regency, and they came yesterday. So we were in there. These are fantastic.
Yeah, really good.
Foam mattresses.
That fits in the back of the van.
It just slided. It's absolutely
I imagine it
perfect,
curls
yeah.
up at the side or something. It actually fits.
They measured it for us, and there's
cut
two
it-
mattresses.
they
so we're
cut
not
it
in
to
a double.
size.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course we'll bring a tent. We'll be sleeping in a tent, but we can sleep in the van if we have to. If
Yeah.
it rains or the weather is bad.
You've got the latest satellite technology as well, haven't you? A sort of a panic button.
Well, this is something that one of the other team members who's on the Mongol Rally had looked into. Effectively, it's linked to a company called International Rescue, not the Thunderbird guys, but the real International Rescue. And it does have a panic button on there that, say, for instance, we're in the middle of the Gobi Desert. We've been there for a few days, running out of water. We can't fix the car because we obviously we can't take spares for every part of the vehicle. And we've seen from previous years, if your axle goes and you're 100 miles from the nearest town, you are a bit snookered. So there is a panic button there where they will come and find you. It sends effectively your location and they will come and get it. But the other thing is as well, it's got an OK button on it that when we've got no internet connection and we've been on the road for a couple of days, we can just press this button and we can preload mobile numbers for our family and immediate family and friends, which will just send them a text message to say we're okay, which is pretty good to know that we can send that.
There's going to be a few goodbyes before you go on this adventure.
Yeah.
Are you beginning to get ready for that almost?
Yeah, it's the longest time I've ever been away from my wife and my son. Yeah, that's a sad part. That's coming, up very fast. When we get on the way, it'll be quite exciting, no doubt, and we'll have loads to do. My wife and my son's they've got a holiday book, so it's not a case that they're just at home, so they're doing things whilst I'm away. But yeah, it's a long time away, isn't it?
It's a long time away. It would be nice. They've been talking about it and planning for such a long time, so it would be nice to finally be off and say that this is day one. Let's start. So,
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows it's coming.
It's-
don't
yeah,
they?
that's
They
it,
do.
it's-
don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
So-
Yeah.
Your emotional strength, where are you getting that from then?
Ex-Royal Navy, being away for months and months and months at a time. Yeah, you get used to it. I just think that it is an adventure of a lifetime,
Yeah.
bar none. A lot of the people who come back, and you probably, if you interviewed the guys that did it last year, because they made it all the way, they'd say when they come back, things are slightly different because you see so many fantastic things. You're getting so many scrapes. And I think when you come back, it takes a while to readjust.
Many thanks for sharing this adventure with us. Please stay in touch as best as you can. I know that you've already mentioned the website, mongolrally.gg. That's the way that we can follow you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. And there's also that you say the van is going to be around the island, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for people to see that.
Yeah.
They can add their name, like you say. There's still sponsors able to come on board. You've got your Guernsey Sporting Club event 11th of July, haven't you?
That's
So
correct.
that's another opportunity for people to support you as well, with your raffle coming up as well.
Yeah, they can buy raffle tickets online as well, £2.50. There's Aurigny tickets that have been donated, a weekend in Herm, weekend in Sark, Premier League football shirts signed by Southampton. There's all sorts of gifts that we've been donated for the raffle. There's over 100 raffle prizes.
I think this is something you're going to really, really enjoy. All the preparation, all the support, all the gratitude, all the like you say, anyone you've asked has come forward. So
Yeah.
all of that
Yeah, it's
will
been
be
really
pushing
good.
you along, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you
Cheers.
very much. Thank you.
Cheers.